I've got a question for you. In your opinion, when should you use an up arrow on signage and when should you use a down arrow on signage if something is directly ahead? You might want to pause the video right now for 5 or 10 seconds while you think of your answer before we proceed. Okay, my advice is to use a down arrow when something ahead involves a downward incline of some kind, such as downward steps which are ahead. Otherwise, use an up arrow. Let me show you some examples of why. This is in Sicily, in Italy, in the airport. This is a good example. Customs is straight ahead and there is no downward incline. There's no downward steps. There's nothing to go down. So it's an arrow saying straight ahead on the sign. So this works fine. I think it makes sense. Likewise, in this example, the arrow points upwards because we're signaling straight ahead and there's no downward incline, so it says straight ahead. But interestingly, in the same place when I expand out, the emergency sign says it's got a downward arrow. Now, in my opinion, this is the wrong signage that they've used. It should have been the same sign but with an arrow pointing upwards. There's no downward decline of any kind. So I think this has been done slightly incorrectly in this airport, but I stand corrected, but that's what I would suggest. And in this example, from a distance, you can see the arrows are downward pointing, and this makes sense as there is a downward trajectory coming up, as I will show you. So you can see these signs from quite a distance, and it makes sense because you're going to be going down steps. So this is the general rule. And you'll see this a lot. So people do get confused about upwards and downwards arrows for straight ahead. So if there is a decline coming up, then I suggest to use downward arrows. If there is no decline, I suggest to use up arrows. That's what I would suggest. Maybe some people will have different opinions, but that's what I would recommend. Well, I hope you enjoyed that course on up and down arrows. That was just a quick lesson. That's one of the lessons from the Udemy course, all about wayfinding essentials. I will leave a link below in YouTube to that course if you're interested. I will see you in the next lesson. Lots of wayfinding videos coming up. See you soon.